Right, everyone, welcome to season 2 of the Self-Employed playlist. All the P's, getting all the P's out. Clint, how are you?
I'm good. Yeah.
Very good. We are Avocado branded. I've even got the shoes on today for this one. So this one's going to be hot. But yeah, it's been an interesting year for you, hasn't it?
Very interesting. Yeah, first year in. I say first year in. It's not first year into the whole self-employed thing, but first year into Avocado.
Yeah.
Been like a whirlwind.
Yeah,
yeah. It's been awesome.
You thought you would see Google business, and then Instagram just went bonkers. You had some viral stuff going on as well in the early days.
I had one post go viral, and I listed 23 properties in the end off the one post.
That's mental, actually.
Just giving some advice about how to present the one photo, the front photo of your house.
Yeah.
And by giving that advice, I had swarms of people in the Midlands come and ask me for advice and ended up selling their houses.
Yeah. And cool. Did you get the house in the end as well?
I got that one in the end. Yeah. It's all through, completed.
Yeah.
And I'm still in touch with them, actually. So Steve, the dad, has moved into a home now, a retirement home, bless him. He had dementia in the end. And he's settled in nicely now. And I am still in touch because he phoned me at 1:30 in the morning the other morning. A bit confused because his son's name is Calvin and my name's Clint. And
right. On the phone,
he quite often phones. He's phoned me 4 or 5 times now since he's moved.
Ask him to change it to Avocado, Clint. We're out the way.
Put it under A, yeah.
Well, we're going to get stuck into some of that, I'm sure, and some of those points as well. But I guess the question that I've asked everyone first is like, why? And for you, it's slightly different, but why go into the Avocado brokerage? Why become a self-employed agent when you kind of had your own business previously? What was the kind of thought process behind that?
My thought process behind that 3 years ago now, I was frustrated to the point of coming out of estate agency, but still staying in with an advertising business, so helping agents advertise. And I came out of the business because everyone was the same. Everyone seemed to be stuck in the same, when I say everyone, estate agents seemed to be stuck in the same rut, saying the same thing, doing the same thing, letting people down in the same way. I just got frustrated with the whole industry. Mm-hmm. So I thought rather than try and fix it, which I know a lot of people try and do, I'll just come out of it and then I'll try and help a select few estate agents. And I was lucky enough, like we are now, to be part of the group that run our software for us. Yeah. Some really top estate agents.
Yeah.
So I started helping all of them with their advertising. One of the people I started helping was Avocado. Yeah. And I remember coming down for a workshop and I walked into the room, and I always dread walking into a room full of estate agents because of everything I've just mentioned.
Yeah.
You get a certain perception of estate agents and this picture of an estate agent. And so every time I had to go to a workshop or a seminar or something, I would dread the moment of walking in and just looking around and going, this is a room full of estate agents.
And they're not friendly in that environment often,
no,
are they? Yeah.
Because you haven't come with a house to sell. So why would they be friendly to you?
Yeah.
But I came down to Bracknell and I walked into the workshop I was doing at Avocado, and I thought I was in the wrong room because of the, how would I explain it? The dynamic sort of, the types of people in the business. I felt warm straight away. I felt everyone wanted me to be there. I was chatting to people and it just dawned on me, and I thought, these guys don't seem like estate agents. So being lucky enough to work with, 50, 60 estate agents around the country, every single estate agent I work with tell me that they are different and they do stuff different.
Yeah.
And they genuinely don't. So the first time I came across people who do something different were Avocado, and there was just some kind of magnet for me. I just went, I've got to have a bit of this. And so I know that a lot of people that are self-employed go into it because of financial reasons. So they think, right, I'm now good at estate agency. I can earn a lot more if I was taking a higher percentage, and that's fine. Some of them go into it because they think, well, it's going to free up some time I can spend with my family. That's fine as well, and that's a legit reason for me as well. But genuinely, my main reason was because now I had found an estate agent that was genuinely different and was moving things forward in a way that I'd never seen before.
Yeah.
Having worked with 50, 60 estate agents, good estate agents all around the country. So it surprised me in such a good way that I remember calling you and going, I need to see you about something quite interesting.
Yeah.
And that was the point that I went, I've got to have a bit of this, because this is something that I felt I couldn't do on my own. I couldn't go, right, let's get rid of the suits. Let's get rid of these scripts. Let's get rid of these crazy targets. I mean, I used to work in companies that used to target you on viewings.
Yeah.
Like, what? Do you want me
Phone
to
calls.
20 viewings and just get people around for the sake of it? It's not even the house for them. And so instead of me then trying to change the industry or trying to create something myself, I stumbled across something that I thought, that's what I'm talking about. And that's how I ended up here.
It's cool actually to hear that back. I've not heard you say it like that before actually myself. So it's actually, it's quite nice to actually hear it in that way, because it shows that culture that we've tried to kind of grow with the dynamic of the self-employed agents is obviously felt by everyone, which is really, really important.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you would say surprised you the most about the last year, in terms of maybe the most challenging, the hardest, or just generally surprised you in kind of more of a difficult way the most over the last sort of 12 months?
Not in a difficult way. What did surprise me was and genuinely is the power of marketing. And what I've always had in the past is not marketing, but salesmanship. Bad salesmanship, hard sales.
Yeah.
As in, go and make 100 phone calls and you might stumble across someone that wants to sell their house, or go and knock on 100 people's doors and someone might be frustrated enough to switch over to you. And it wasn't marketing attracting homeowners to sell.
Yeah.
It was just relentlessly going at it. And the problem with that kind of strategy is that you've got to keep going at it and keep
volume.
Yeah, and it's just draining, because you have to get those 100 no's before you get one yes. Mm-hmm. And then you've got to battle with that one yes to try and win the business. Whereas if you get your marketing right, you've got the business coming and inquiring with you or asking you questions, and it goes from there. So I think the difficulty / good surprise was getting that personal branding right. And me having been in the business for 20 years and never marketed myself, was a new thing for me. And even with my advertising business, I'm helping all these owners advertise their business. Mm. I'm not helping many people advertise the agent themselves.
Yeah.
So to switch over to, I think the difficulty is me going, I don't want to show off. I don't want to be on camera all the time. I don't want to put my photo on that board, and I don't want to put my photo on that post. But then eventually you get to learn that it's not your ego doing that. It's you showing people who you are, how you operate, and actually just, I'm a friendly face. Come and talk to me. And the power behind that is something I haven't experienced before.
It's something that we've got to embrace more in agency, and exactly what you just said. People thinking, I'm a bit nervous about putting my face across everything and making it all about me. It's not about that. It's the relationship you can build with someone without meeting them through marketing yourself as a person is so much more trusting and powerful than promoting a logo or a brand. It just is. And if we look at how the modern day works, the money that YouTubers make now, that they created, the money that celebrities make, when someone like Nike, a huge firepower, in the world, they promote a new product, it's often tied with an influencer. It's actually, 20% of the royalties, 10% of the royalties are going to Beyonce, or, Usain Bolt or something like that. Because actually the power now is in the individual as much as it is in those big brands. What about the single, best moment you've had? What was the kind of the real light bulb moment, magic moment? I mean, you had that viral video.
That was the magic. I was literally just thinking that. So we started off like you do with all your agents with the launch plan, and that was awesome in itself. That I came to under your brokerage, and you went, right, there's a blueprint, and I looked at it and I went, yeah, that looks awesome. I didn't go home and go, I'm self-employed now, so
Here we go.
what shall I do?
Yeah.
Shall I pick up the phone? Shall I put an advert on a roundabout somewhere? I actually had a plan. I think it was 6 weeks altogether, and it was intense content, very relevant, and in an order such that people learn what you're doing. Now, during that content and during that, I had one of my posts go viral. 1.4 million views. I think that's about 1.6 million views now. But it was a post about presenting your property correctly. And I'd never made the post and went, fingers crossed this one goes viral.
No.
I was just following a blueprint going, look, if this has worked for all your other businesses and agents under the brokerage, then I'm in. Why not follow that blueprint?
Yeah.
And it exploded. Now, here's what's interesting is I hadn't sold a single property under the Avocado brand. And the listings month for new houses coming to market with me, when that post went viral, I listed 23 altogether. It was over a space of 2 or 3 months, but 23 listings off the back of messages from that post, having not sold a single property yet. And the point I'm making there is that we were doing marketing to attract people to come and sell their houses with us.
Yeah.
The mentality behind what agents think marketing is, they think that we've sold 10 properties, we've sold 12 properties this week, we've done this, we've done this. I didn't see any of that in the blueprint. It was more about, can you help families in your area? What's the best thing about moving to your area? It was more about them. It was more about why would you want to come and move to this area? Why would you want to sell your property? And to see that come good in that kind of fashion was just incredible. I mean, I haven't experienced it before. And about 20 years in.
150 grand's worth of fees, something like that.
Huge amount.
But it wasn't the one post that made that happen. It was the one post that gave you the kind of the creative at the end. It was the fact that there was a blueprint. You followed the blueprint perfectly, and that particular one just happened to go mental.
Yeah.
But if you hadn't done all the other ones, maybe that one wouldn't, because the algorithm might not have been warmed up, and it might not have been engaged.
Yeah.
It might not have been firing at that point.
And the other interesting thing about following that blueprint was I had people that I'd known for years and knew that I was an estate agent for years. I've been an estate agent for 20 years. Anyone that knows me knows I'm an estate agent. Unless they've just met me and we haven't even spoken, they know I'm an estate agent. And for years and years and years, no one sold a house for me. It was almost, I don't know what it was. But then all of a sudden, following the blueprint and focusing on marketing rather than having a big focus on marketing in order to achieve what you want to achieve, which is what you guys taught me, just made family, friends, people I've known for years come to me and go, oh, I see what you're doing now, mate. We've actually got a house to sell.
Amazing, isn't
and
it?
half of me went, mate, come on. I've been an estate agent for years. And the other half of me went, oh, at last, I'm starting to show people why I can help them, how I can help them.
Yeah.
So the marketing part of the journey has been the most incredible bit for me, because 20 years in the industry, you kind of know what you're doing in the way of basics, booking a viewing, the process, the legals, the surveys, the mortgage, you know all that. So it's almost like, okay, you know all of that. Now let's teach you how to market yourself. And that's what Avocado as a brokerage has done for me.
And that's why we've done this podcast, is to highlight it. And yeah, there's an element of, we have our blueprint, and our blueprint we know works if it's followed. But having a launch plan when you go into any business, any strategy, you've got to have something that you're able to commit to. And some days you don't want to do certain things, but if you've got a plan of action in place, it will work. It's a bit like a New Year's resolution. It's like, right, I want to do this. I want to lose a bit of weight or run that or eat healthier. If there's no plan in place, just some sort of pipeline dream. And once the motivation burns off, you'll stop doing it. But the action plan to launch as a self-employed agent gives you a map to follow, and you just press the red button and sort of not hesitate on it, basically.
And it's learning that success, because you've got so many successful businesses within the brokerage. It's you get that confidence straight away of going, so these guys followed that blueprint. And as soon as I met all the guys and you said to me, well, there's a blueprint that we follow, I went, give me the blueprint. I'm doing the blueprints.
Yeah.
And that's how it
and
took off.
2024 was earmarked as not the most easiest year to be an estate agent. It was a difficult sort of start, but 40% of the Avocado partners had the best year they've ever had in 2024.
Yeah, but do you know why that is? Why I think that is? I think in a difficult market, the best agents always rise to the top.
It's the market
because they're not doing volume.
Yeah.
They're not doing numbers. Because in a good market, I started estate agency in 2006, and it was for a big corporate nationwide estate agent. And I remember walking into the office. I sat down at the desk, and the phone rang, and I picked it up, and someone wanted to make an offer on something, and I passed it over to someone senior in the office. Phone rang again. I picked it up. Someone wanted to book a viewing. Put down the phone, it rang again, another viewing, ran again, another offer. And I just sat there and I went, this is easy.
Yeah.
And my first year in estate agency, I thought I was a superstar because I earned so much money compared to what I was earning before. I earned so much money and I was so successful. But looking back, we all remember the market of 2006 into 2007. Before then, things took a massive nosedive. But that was the boom of all booms. You had banks lending 125%, throwing money at people.
Yeah.
And I just answering the phone. When we went into the recession in 2008, I was lucky enough to have a mentor back there who said to me, I'll either teach you how to be a proper estate agent or just get out of the business now, because now you've got to do proper estate agency. And I'm very grateful for that, because now I realise that in a tough market, or in a market that's slightly downturned or not as good as it should be, is when agents like us that market themselves, do the right thing, give the right advice, that's when we will have our best year.
Yeah.
And that's when your volume agents go, oh, what just happened?
Yeah.
Why aren't the phones ringing anymore?
Yeah. Is what I think post-lockdown, where some of the agents are going to struggle now, is the new recruits that came on in the back end of 2020 and 2021, when it was really easy, like, stamp duty holiday, the market's gone mental, furloughs just, filled the economy with cash. So the market was as easy as I've seen it, dating all the way back to like 05, 06, sort of, 07 times, when it was just anyone can do this job. But they've only learnt that way. So now it's got a little bit tougher, and you see the agents that kind of really pushed the new recruits up to try and, take control of the volume, now really struggling, because that's not agency. This is agency. And this is why I think self-employed estate agents are better for the client, because of the fact that it's that single point of contact, the experience that's there. It means that little bit more. They have that want and desire. They don't get the paycheck at the end of the month unless they do the work. It's better for the market. It's better for the client. And it's why massive countries like Australia and the US do it this way. Yeah. And now we've adopted it here.
You've got your agent, rather than who shall I use, or, what brand shall I use? It's all turning towards you being your agent. Like, you've got your doctor, you've got your dentist, you're now going to have your agent. That's rapidly becoming the way things happen in the UK.
Yeah.
As you say, in America, a family will have their agents.
It's the phone call that I was on, funnily enough, before we started this, which was why we started a little bit late, was because there was a website inquiry that came through from a lady, and in the paragraph she said, I'd sold with Purple Bricks back in 2017. I managed to save thousands. I don't want to work with X and Y, two of the market leading agents, one really strong independent, one big corporate. I won't mention them, who they are. So I'm looking to find out what your fees are. Now, normally most people look at that and go, oh, fee merchant, nightmare. Yeah. I look at that and go, excellent. I'm calling that one.
Yeah.
But I had the chat with her, and I kind of asked the question, and she said, and I gave her the reason, I explained how we work and how we operate. And she said, so what are the fees? I said, well, the thing is, we're basically the opposite of what a Purple Bricks is, because it's bespoke, it's exclusive, there's a marketing strategy, etc. It's a single point of contact. She said, that's brilliant. I'm actually getting divorced, so everything's quite sensitive. I want to make sure that there isn't miscommunication. I was always one point of contact, not a call centre and a trainee and a weekender, etc. And by the end of the call, I said, and she's got a meeting with her solicitor on the Monday. I said, would you like me to get so-and-so agent to give you a call on Tuesday, the Avocado partners where that license exists. She's absolutely brilliant. Yeah, yes, please. So just within that call of explaining how we do things from someone that was like, I want the cheapest fee agent in the world, was actually and I said to her, we're the most expensive agent in the area, not that. And she said, I've heard really good things about those particular agents. And that's, like you said, that's everything that actually people don't believe that the public want that because they're scared of fees, but actually the public do want that and they're happy to pay the fee.
Yeah, that's the industry's fault though for doing the volume and going after market share. You think, if I can get these 2 more listings, I don't care. I'll go cheap on fee, because if I can just get these 2, then we're on X amount, and I can tell my big boss that we've listed this many properties. And it was all no one ever spoke about the actual client. They spoke about the numbers. And so to flip all that round and go, well, what are you as an individual looking for? And in this case, she's getting divorced, which is very, very sensitive. You can't just be a number in some big office.
Nope.
It's got to be handled properly. And, from the outset, and I know you set this out right when you started the brokerage, is to do things properly.
Yeah.
And don't worry about the numbers. Let's worry about the clients and the service they get.
People before property. It was the initial tagline, and it's still there at its core today. What advice would you give to a self-employed agent that's thinking of kicking off self-employed in 2025? What advice would you give?
You've got to, and I don't want to sound like I'm plugging, because there's lots of good brokerages that are coming out now. I know of one in the Midlands that are awesome that aren't us. And so I look, and there are some really good brokerages coming along now. What I would say is that you've got to, it's almost like you're marrying into it, because that's your support network. People often make the mistake is when they go self-employed, the word self stands out too much.
Yeah.
Because you're going, I'm on my own.
Yeah.
And like, you're not. Like, you always call it the Avocado family. And I suppose from outside, if you don't know how we operate, you kind of go, that's a bit cheesy. He's calling his work colleagues a family. But genuinely, it's a family. Everyone, I mean, most of our kids have got the avocado, the pink avocado.
If not,
hoodie.
they've got the key ring on their school bag.
My kids have got the key ring on the school bags. And so what I would say is take your time to make that decision, because and I won't mention names, but I got stung with the self-employed model, where the commission structure looked great, the brand even looked great, but the support network behind it was horrendous. And I'm a self-starter, so I was okay. I managed, but the amount of people that I saw coming in, having been promised 6 figures a year, 100 grand plus, and just completely bail after 6 months. I was questioning the whole industry. So I was going, why is there such a massive turnover? What I quickly learned was there was not a massive turnover in all brokerages. And I think you've got, most of yours are OGs, most of yours are originals.
Yeah.
And that's 4 years down the line. I'm looking at these guys and they're doing 7 figures, and having built the business over 4 years. And even I've seen that. So I would say the advice is you've got to wait and you've got to find the right brokerage for you. And it might be that you look at Avocado and you go, that's not the right brokerage. That's fine. My advice is find the one that is right, because when you're looking for more ideas and more marketing, and you're looking, how do I generate more leads? You need someone to turn to. Because if you're sat in that office on your own and you focused on the word self-employed, it's going to be so lonely, and you're going to have to try and think of those ideas yourself. A nightmare. Whereas I know next week, 16th, is it? We're coming in and doing a content day where we're all just going to share loads of ideas, and then we can go off and implement the ideas, which is fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, that day, that kickoff, it'll be our first of this style. Is what I'm classifying as a personal development day. So, in that particular day, you won't be aware of this, but we've got a wealth advisor coming in to talk to people about money and how and where to put money for themselves personally. We've got a health and fitness professional coming in to talk about the basics of health and fitness, so people can leave and feel fine-tuned. We've got personal development hacks. We've got a marketing panel, which you're actually on. There is 59 people in that room.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So there's a proper setup for people to come and actually learn off of others, like-minded people.
Yeah.
It's a big room, you know, of a lot of good, talented people. So, yeah, if people want to reach out and ask us, you know, what we're doing, what's going on, you know, why we won the Negotiator Self-Employed Agent of the Year 2 years in a row running, then reach out to me or reach out to yourself, and we'd love to have a chat with people. I spoke to 2 people this week about what we do. It's never a sales pitch. This is how we do. This is what we do, and I leave the ball in their court as their opportunity to come back to me afterwards. So,
and I mean, I think to sum all of this up, is that I now finally, 20 years, I've probably lost passion for it 10 years down the line.
Yeah, and
finally now I get excited when someone calls me out to their house. I think, how can I help them here? Which videos am I going to show them? How am I going to... I actually buzz too much, and I think, how am I going to show them all the marketing that I can do for them?
I'm going to show them everything.
I get all excited, and I go with all my laptop and my iPad, because I just know now how much I can help them.
Yeah.
But the key to all of that is I'm now enjoying it again. Finally, I'm enjoying it again.
I totally relate to that. 20 odd years in the game, and I totally fell out of love with it. And it's brought back the love, the passion. Like I said, with that phone call with the lady on the contact form that looked like a bit of a fee merchant, it just makes the fire inside me get excited.
Yeah.
And after
wait until I tell her.
Yeah, and then to send the email to the agent and say, right, that valuation is ready for Tuesday. Just speak to her and it's good to go.
Yeah.
That's what the excitement and the love's about. So
it's awesome.
Thanks for joining me on this episode. There are more episodes with different Avocado partners, and there's a whole season 1 with me and Mike, 7 episodes on being self-employed. So please, if you enjoyed this video, go and check those out as well. And thanks for joining, Clint.
No problem.